Yes, I copy you loud and clear. This is a space station. Over. Gray Mountain School in Yukon, Canada. This is Chris Hadfield. I'm ready for the first question. Over. I'm sorry, can you say the question again, please? Okay, I think I heard how big is the space station. I didn't hear the second half of the question. The space station is as big as about 5 hockey rinks. It's huge. It's big enough that you can see it from Earth. Over. We don't have television, no, but we have internet very slow, so we can't really watch any channels. People send us videos to watch, but we have ham radios, so I can talk with you, and we have other radios to talk with people around the world, and I have email to communicate with, so it works out pretty well. And I think for the first question, the second half was, is there room to dance? And yes, there's room to dance on the space station, but I need someone here to dance with. Over. I like to look out the window because the world is beautiful. But I also like to play guitar and sing. I've written music here on the space station. I've played lots of music. I've recorded with people on Earth. In fact, today in California, my band is playing a song that I wrote while I was here in space. So when I don't have to work, I look out the window and I make music. Over. We have to keep our muscles strong and our bones strong. So we lift against resistance, sort of like pulling against elastics, so that it really loads up our skeleton and our bones. And then we have a treadmill and a bicycle. The bicycle doesn't have a seat, because without gravity you don't have to sit down. And with those we can exercise our heart and our lungs. And with that we stay in good shape. Over. Leandra, that's a problem we had to solve. And the way we did it was, before we go on a spacewalk, we go into a small room, an airtight room, close the doors, and then we have a very powerful pump that pumps the air out of that room and into a storage tank while we're in our spacesuits. And then when we open the hatch, we only lose a tiny bit of air and oxygen. When we come back in, we can get the air back out of that oxygen tank again. Great question. Over. Well, we can do a lot of things. We can't do some things in space that we can do on Earth. We can't have fresh food because we don't have any real good refrigeration, and our vehicles come up here very slowly. And we can't, see our families up close. So it's sort of like being on a long trip, like a long ways away for quite a while from home, a camping trip. And even though it's really special and you get to see beautiful things, it will be very nice to get home and be able to give people a hug and be able to have fresh food. Over. Thomas, with your bare eyes, with your naked eyes, you cannot see the Great Wall of China. It's too narrow, and it's the same color as the land, so it's camouflage. With a great big camera lens, like a telescope, you can see it. But what you can see are the big harbors and ports, and for me, what I like looking at is the Trans-Canada Highway. Because it's a straight line cutting across nature, you can actually see that thin road cutting right across Canada. And I've driven that road on the ground, and so for me, it's a really important link across our country, and I like looking at it from space. Over. Yes, Alan, we can see the Northern Lights more beautifully than I've ever seen them on Earth. Because we're above them, they ripple and blow up towards us like sheets of wind. Hi, Samantha. I sleep about 6 or 7 hours every night, same as on Earth. And just like in the north, in Whitehorse, in the summertime the sun's up a lot. In the wintertime the sun's not up. In fact, where I sleep on the space station doesn't have a window, so I can make it nice and dark and go to sleep. Over. Cool question. Well, there's no air, so the balloon would get bigger. And it would depend how strong the rubber of the balloon was. It's also very hot in the sun, so the balloon would get sort of soft, and very cold in the shade, so the balloon would get very stiff. So it might pop. But I think what you could expect is the balloon would get very, very big, and then maybe it would pop. Or maybe not. But it wouldn't float, because everything's weightless. Over. Heather, it's one of the things we worry about, and so we have a lot of food stored on the space station, like for a whole winter. And we have a lot of emergency food, really compact emergency rations. So we could probably stay up here for, I would guess, 9 months with no more vehicles. We'd have enough food for 9 months. That's a pretty big pantry full of food here on the space station. Over. Jennifer, yes it does, although in fact it's almost like getting old in space, and your body gets weaker without the constant load of gravity. So we have to work hard to stay in shape. And you're floating around weightless, and suddenly you're exercising, so it asks a lot of your heart and muscles. But then you do sweat the thing, but the sweat doesn't drip down. If you're not careful, the sweat will float around and go up on the ceiling. So we keep a towel floating in to wipe the sweat out.